Okay, what I'm going to do is go through the problems again. Now, I notice in the notes what I did was I wrote down what's called an exact answer, and then I wrote an approximate down. All right. Now, I did the approximates before I did the exam, but the bottom line is, on exams you do the exact value. However, you should be able to use a calculator. So I'm using Sage. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to Sage, and I'm running Sage right now. What I'm going to do with Sage, first thing I'm going to do is just is reset. And I always like to start a problem by resetting it. Next thing I'm going to do is going to define a bunch of variables over here. A, B, C, uppercase A, uppercase B, uppercase C. And they're variables. All right. Now I may assign them values, but they're variables at this point. So it's going to be A, it's going to be B, it's going to be C, it's going to be uppercase A, it's going to be uppercase B, and they're different, by the way. And there's going to be an uppercase C. So I've defined 6 variables. So what I want to do is go over here and write down what I know. And what I know is I know A is 80 degrees. Now remember, in Sage, we're only doing radian measure, so I need to convert this. So I'm going to say star pi. I'm going to approximate pi by using the n notation. It's a numerical approximation, and divide by 180. And that's what A is. Okay, B is a measure of a side, and B is going to be 2.6. All right, let me take a look at this over here. And the other thing I know is I know A, little a, is going to equal to 5.1. What I'm going to do now is type in the computation. We've already did the whiteboard work. And what's computation going to be? This over here. So B is, it's the arc sign, ARC-SIN, and it's going to be B, little b, times the sine of A, and I'm going to divide it by side A now. Hit return, and I'm going to display B for you. And this is where students get confused sometimes. Oh, that's B. You got a wrong answer. That's B in radian. I want to report it back into degree. So let's put this down. So it's going to be B star 180 divided by pi. And what do you get? You get 30.136. I rounded it to 2 decimal places. So then the next question comes is, what else do I have to do? Let's write this down. I have to do C. And what's C going to be? Now I know 180 is over there, but remember, everything I'm dealing with is in radian at this point. So it's not going to be 180, it's going to be pi. I'm going to approximate that. And that's going to be minus A and minus B. And again, I'm going to display it, but a lot of students will be confused by that. And that's a radian measure. We're going to need to convert that. So I'm going to take the C, I'm going to multiply it by 180, and I'm going to divide it by pi. What do we get? 69.86, and that's in degree measure. What else do we do over here? Let's go for that. This one over here. This is going to be side C. So C equals, it's going to be A times the sine of C divided by the sine of A. Let's display C, see what we get, and we're getting 4.86 as expected. Again, we're just going through the computation. Let's do this one over here, and looking at it, I'm looking at it. I'm gonna do this again. Remember, I'm gonna reset. Why am I doing that? I don't want to store those. I don't want the same values. So I'm gonna redefine the variables again. I'll just do a copy paste. And what I'm gonna do over here is, kind of look at the picture, and I'm gonna say A. This is big A equals 50.5. Star. Remember, we have to convert that to radian. I think I made a mistake. I said 505. It's 50.5. Star pi, approximate pi by using the n notation. N stands for numerical approximation, and then divide by 180. All right, what else am I going to do? I don't know. I'm going to do B. What's B going to be? B will be equal to 87.9. All right, and then star pi dot n divide by 180. All right. Now, what's C going to be? Let's write this down. C will be equal to, let's go over here and make sure you understand it's written down for you. I'm not going to use 180. I'm going to use pi again. Pi dot n. I know that's a pain, by the way. Minus A minus B. And you get a number like this, which might confuse you. I'm going to convert that to the degree measure. So I'm going to take the C, I'm going to multiply it by 180, and I'm going to divide by that pi again. And what do you get? 41.6. Again, there's a lot of padded zeros over there. I wouldn't worry about that. Right, now what I'm going to do, go back over here and just type in the computations now. B equals, it equals lowercase c times the sine of B divided by the sine of C. Let's display the B, and B is going to be, you know what? I made a mistake there. I just noticed it. I forgot to define C, and I understand I didn't do that. I just noticed it. So I have to assign C the value of 3. I just noticed that. Let's go back. I'm going to retype that command in, which is going to be B equals 3. Let me make sure you know what I meant by that. I'm typing this in over here. All right, C times the sine of B over the sine of C. You may wonder why I know I made a mistake. I looked at the answer over there, and the answer involved C. I knew it was wrong right away. All right, this is the answer over here. So I knew that was wrong. All right, so let's do this over here. What do you get over there? Let's display B again. What's B? 4.5155. Round to 2 decimal places, 4.52. Let's go for A. Again, we already did the paper and pencil work. What's A going to be equal to? Well, it's going to be equal to C times the sine of A divided by the sine of C. Let's display A. And what's A? It's 3.4866, blah, blah, blah. Round to 2 decimal places, 3.49. All right? Let's go to the next question. This is the pilot question. And again, we already went through the groundwork of writing things down. I'm just going to go through the computation now. As I do it, though, I'm seeing numbers written over here. I didn't really put any variables down there. You know what? I'm going to reset again, though. I'm sorry about that. So reset, and I'm going to do a copy-paste again, defining the variables again. You're right, I'm not going to be using these guys, but that doesn't matter. I'll put B down. What's B going to be? It's going to be 5 times the sine of 48. Remember, we need to convert that to radian measure. So star pi dot n, that's the n notation, divide by 180. I know it's a pain. Divide by the sine of 100 star pi dot n, and that's going to be divided by 180 as well. Simple conversion, right? Mistakes happen. Let's just put that in. What do you get? Yeah, it's 3.7730, blah, 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 blah. But I'm rounding it to 2 decimal places, 3.77. All right, let's go to the next computation, which was that height computation. All right. Now, by the way, could you define a new variable h? You could. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to do b times the sine of 32. Now, 32 is in degree. I got to get into radians. So start pi dot n divided by 180. And again, I'm just using Sage as a calculator. What are you getting? 1.9994093. Now, if you round it to 2 decimal places, it's going to be 2.00. That one's done. Let's go to this one over here. Relatively simple question, and I'm just going to type in the computation for you. We've already talked about the whiteboard material. What am I going to do over here? Reset again. I'm going to, copy paste this over here. Redefine my variables. And what I'm going to type in, I'll go back to it. And what do I type in? I'm going to type in those letters. B equals 4.2. A equals 37. Remember, we're going to convert that to radian. So times pi. Remember, we're going to approximate that as well. Divide by 180. And what's A going to be? Little a is going to be 2.8. All right, let's go through it. And what are we going to do? Just type it in. What do you get there? B equals the arc. We've already discussed it at the whiteboard, by the way. Arc, A-R-C. Arc sine, I'm sorry. B times the sine of A. Type that in. Divide by little a, the side A. You're going to get B. Let's display B for you. And again, a lot of students get confused about that. Say, you got a different answer. Well, that's the radian. I'm going to need to convert the B. So it's going to be B star, let's see, 180 divided by pi. And what do you get there? 64.51827, yada, yada, yada. Round to two decimal places, 64.52. Remember, we talked about this at the whiteboard, and I got a visual over here. B's bigger. It's the supplement. What's that going to be? Well, it's 180 degrees minus, you know, so I'm saying 180 now. Now, when I say minus, it's minus the number that's right above it, all right? The underscore is one way to get the output from the prior input. So that underscore, the computer reads it as 64.518, blah, 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 blah. And what are you going to get? 115. What number are we getting over here? In that computation, we're getting 115.48. If you did the 180, though, and if you did that, it's really going to be pi dot n minus b. You're going to get a number. That's the number you're getting. You say that's not the same number. You need to take that number, underscore again, and multiply it by, well, whoops, sorry about that. You multiply it by 180, and you're going to divide through by pi. You need to approximate the pi, by the way. Whoops, I made a mistake there. I just see it. Get 115.48. All right, we're done with using Sage, by the way. Thank you for paying attention.